Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus channel. The US military is already considered one of the fiercest fighting forces in the world. But the Special Forces are an altogether different breed of soldier. Among the most impressive of all the groups under the Special Forces banner are the US Air Commandos. They are part of the Air Force Special Operations Command and provide airborne operational services, such as short-duration strikes, insurgencies, foreign internal defense, and many other scenarios that may put them behind enemy lines. When it comes to getting behind those lines, the US Air Commandos will often use Paratrooper tactics. This generally consists of a free-fall jump, commonly either a high-altitude low opening or high-altitude high opening jump. These are skydiving operations characterized by special operations parachutists jumping from an aircraft at high altitudes and either delaying the opening of their chute to a low altitude or opening it early in the descent for a long glide distance. Both techniques are used to discreetly insert personnel into enemy territory or reach areas that are otherwise inaccessible due to terrain or enemy defenses. However, not all parachute landings are ideal. Depending on the mission, dozens of factors can make parachute landings more difficult for US paratroopers. For instance, high winds can push paratroopers off course, making it difficult to land in the designated area. Additionally, rain, snow, and fog can reduce visibility and make landings more hazardous. Of course, night jumps are inherently more dangerous due to reduced visibility. Finally, the type of terrain where paratroopers land can significantly impact the difficulty of the landing, especially if there is no terrain at all. Certain military objectives may require forces to be inserted via air near or into water bodies, sometimes to secure strategic locations like bridges, ports, or islands. As might be expected, landing in water introduces unique challenges and requires specific strategies and preparations to ensure the safety and effectiveness of the operation. Critical equipment and weapons must also be waterproofed to prevent damage. This often involves using waterproof bags or special coatings to ensure that gear remains functional after submersion. That's why elite paratroopers undergo specialized aquatic landing training, learning how to exit their parachutes quickly to avoid getting tangled, as well as how to use flotation devices. They must also prepare for eventualities, such as their chutes getting caught in a current and dragging them through the water. This water-based training is generally part of the SEER system, which stands for Survival, Evasion, Resistance, and Escape. In scenarios where parachuting into water isn't part of an operation, evasion techniques become critical. SEER training provides them with the skills they need to survive, avoid detection, and meet up with their team members. Special Forces and their operations are defined by versatility, precision, and the ability to deploy in various environments, including land, air, and sea. No matter what the mission demands, these men and women will find a way to execute it. Take helocasting, for example. This insertion method involves deploying personnel or equipment into water from a helicopter. This technique is often used when stealth is required or when conventional landing zones are unavailable. The helicopter in question will fly low and slow over a body of water, allowing the team to egress either by themselves or with a boat. On the other hand, water infiltration involves the covert entry of Special Forces teams into enemy territory through waterways. This can include swimming, using underwater propulsion devices, or small submersible vehicles. The purpose can vary, from reconnaissance missions to sabotage or direct assaults on coastal installations. Whatever the case, water infiltration requires extensive practice with combat diving and navigation, which often involves other branches training with the ultimate special forces, Navy SEALs. Special forces are often called in to execute what are known as maritime assault missions. Generally, these are aimed at seizing or neutralizing enemy vessels, offshore installations, or port facilities. These operations are critical in controlling strategic maritime choke points, countering piracy, and ensuring the security of naval assets. Like many other such operations, maritime assaults require precise coordination. Depending on the situation, they can be executed using boarding techniques, from small boats or helicopters, or even by parachuting into the sea. Missions involving water-to-shore or shore-to-water movement by small groups of Special Forces troops typically utilize raiding craft. These are high-speed, often heavily armed boats used by Special Forces for rapid insertion, extraction, and assault in maritime environments. They are designed to be stealthy, fast, and versatile. Most importantly, they can operate in shallow waters where larger vessels cannot go. In many cases, they can pull right onto the beach. They can also launch in the same manner when the mission is over. However, fast roping is one of the best options when it comes to quick insertions and extractions. It involves connecting a team to a hovering helicopter using a thick rope and metal carabiners. The method is fast and allows for quick movement of troops. But it requires significant skill and practice to minimize injury risk. As the Special Operations Group for the United States Air Force, the Air Commandos must be familiar with a wide range of aircraft and helicopters. One of the main modes of transportation they utilize is actually a combination of the two, the Boeing CV-22 Osprey. The Osprey is a tilt-rotor aircraft that combines a helicopter's vertical takeoff, hover, and vertical landing qualities with the long-range, fuel efficiency, and speed characteristics of a turboprop aircraft. As it is specifically designed for use by Special Forces, the CV model varies slightly from the standard V-22. For one, it boasts an increased fuel capacity and a terrain following radar. This adjusts the aircraft's altitude to maintain a preset distance from the terrain below, regardless of whether the ground rises or falls. This allows for low-level incursions and extractions with an added level of stealth. The CV-22 boasts an added 588 gallons of fuel capacity. This was accomplished via the installation of two inboard wing tanks. However, 3 auxiliary tanks can also be added to the cabin to further increase the aircraft's range. Perhaps most important of all, the CV-22 is capable of in-air refueling. This allows the Osprey to fly longer distances without needing to land and refuel. Such capabilities are crucial for long-range missions and allow aircraft to operate globally with few logistical constraints. All Special Forces units undergo extensive training with aircraft weapon systems. After all, relying on speed and stealth in an incursion or extraction situation is not enough. These units must also rely on sheer firepower. U.S. Special Missions aviator training is designed for the airmen who serve on board the aircraft used in special operations. Their roles encompass various responsibilities, including aerial gunnery and defensive measures, conducting and coordinating search and rescue operations, and conducting surveillance and reconnaissance missions. By far, the most notorious gunship of all is the AC-130. A heavily armed variant of the C-130 Hercules, the AC-130 is used for close air support, air interdiction, and force protection. The AC-130 is notable for carrying the largest airborne artillery in the world, a 105mm howitzer. This cannon provides significant firepower and can be used against a range of targets, including fortified positions and tanks. It also features a 40mm Bofors cannon and a 5-barrel Gatling-type cannon capable of delivering an extremely high rate of fire. The plane's cousin, the MC-130, is less focused on destruction and more on the infiltration, exfiltration, and resupply of Special Operations Forces. No matter the mission, where there is an AC or MC-130 in the sky, friendly forces on the ground know they can rest easy. That's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.